Hi boys and girls, Anne Marie from Sustrans here. I hear you've all been working really hard at home, getting all that schoolwork done. So I thought we would break for a wee chat about staying active when we're not in school. You guys know whenever I'm in your school, we chat about moving our body, getting outside, getting fresh air. It's not that easy to do that in the winter months. So we have a wee challenge for you this week and a chance to win a really cool prize in a competition at the end of this lesson. So stay tuned. So we know that children have lots of energy, which I'm sure your parents have found out over the last few weeks and months when you've been at home. But did you know that you guys have more energy than any other age group? You're continually growing, which requires fuel. And it's a wee bit like when you're putting petrol or diesel into a car. We need to do that to make it move. It's the same as a spaceship rocketing to the moon. It needs some fuel. So we want to put lots of healthy foods and drinks into our body as fuel to allow us to do our favourite activities, our favourite sports, and even our brain needs lots of fuel to do that good schoolwork. So what are the best foods and drinks for our body? Well, we know that lots of colourful fruits and vegetables have great vitamins for us. Whole grain breads and rice and potatoes fill us up for longer. Some protein foods like chicken or fish are good for growth. And of course, we need to hydrate ourselves, so lots of liquids going in. And the best ones there, of course, would be milk and lots of water. Now, that's not to say we're not allowed the odd treat every so often, but keep those to the weekend or for a celebration like a birthday. Okay, so we know that we need lots of good fuel into our body to stay healthy, but how do we know how much movement we need to be doing every day? Well, a clever group of scientists in the government have already figured that out for us. So for your age, you just need to do 60 minutes of movement every day. They call it moderate exercise, moderate movement. How do you know if you're doing enough or doing it well enough? Well, if you're doing really good exercise or sports or movement, for it to count as your 60 minutes a day, you should feel warm. You could have red cheeks. You might feel a little bit sweaty. You would be out of breath. So a good tip is if you're able to sing, you're not working hard enough. So keep that body moving, 60 minutes per day. So it doesn't have to be 60 minutes in one go. It could be 60 minutes of sport and exercise or just moving your body throughout the whole day. So you choose what you like best and when you do it. So for example, you could be walking the dog for 20 minutes in the morning time. You could jump on the trampoline for 10 minutes in the afternoon. And then you could play with your brother football or basketball for half an hour in the evening time. And that all adds up to your 1 hour exercise per day. So I want you now to think about 3 activities that you really enjoy doing. They can be sports or exercises or just moving in general. Write them down here on a wee bit of paper and tell me the reasons why. So you can use the word bank here on the side of the screen for some good descriptive words. You feel free to stop the video now for a few minutes to get your words written down. A cool way of knowing if you are moving around every day enough is by counting or tracking your steps. So we are recommended to take at least 10,000 steps per day. And you can use a cool little device called a pedometer that you can fit to your jeans, you can strap it onto your belt, and it counts every single step you take throughout the day. And you can compare it then every day to see if you're doing enough. Some of you might even have activity trackers called a Fitbit. So those seem to be the most popular brand. Maybe someone in your household has one that you could borrow and see how you get on counting your steps. Or maybe someone will allow you to use their smartphone to borrow it and see if you can use the inbuilt step counter on that. And you can always download a specific app to count steps too. It's a really good way to monitor how much movement you're doing. And it's a positive way to keep track because people who do track their steps take on average 2,500 more steps a day than those who don't. So it's a good thing to be aware of. The idea of counting 10,000 steps as a guideline every day came from Japan back in the 60s. So during the Tokyo Olympics in 1964, the Japanese as a nation were trying to get everybody more fit. So they started to count steps and they decided to use one of their counting measures, which happens to be 10,000, as the guideline. So they've called it manpokai, which means literally 10,000 steps, and it's a meter for counting that. So have a wee look there at what they used to look like. I'm kind of glad that we now have our Fitbits. They look a wee bit more sleek on our arms, don't they? So this morning I went outside to try and get my 10,000 steps to make a head start on my 60 minutes of exercise per day. But when I got outside to go for a run, all I could see was the lashing rain. So I knew straight away it was too wet to go outside. And I like to normally get a run or a walk in the morning times, especially after a few hours on the laptop. I feel like I need some fresh air and get my body moving. And I'm sure you're the same after doing a bit of homeschooling. So I came back inside and I was really disappointed, but I just thought I'll try and do my running inside the house for once. I'll be really careful running around and around the house. I set 1 kilometre of distance as a goal on my Fitbit, and I just ran. So that took me about 6.5 minutes to run 1 kilometre in distance around and around the ground floor of my house. So now I'm challenging you guys to get active inside the house. So no matter what the weather is outside, let's get moving inside. So 6 minutes of whatever activity or exercise or moving you want. Set a timer, get 6 minutes done. I'm saying 6 minutes because it took me 6.5 minutes to do 1 kilometre inside. So maybe you like to run. Maybe you could beat my time. So we have a brand new fitness activity tracker up for grabs, just like the one you see on the screen here. And if you win it, you can choose whatever colour you want. So they come in a range of colours. So all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is take a photo of you getting active inside. So that could be you doing your stretches. It could be a selfie if you're getting your steps up, whatever you think. Send the photo to your teacher as you do with your normal homework, or ask your parent or carer to tweet the photo on Twitter using the hashtag SWSchoolsActiveInside, SW standing for Southwest. Make sure you tag our Twitter account in your tweet at SUSTransNI, and then we'll be able to see it. So we're going to choose the best photo to receive a brand new activity tracker. Now you must have parent or carer permission to send a photo to your teacher, and only your parent or carer can use social media for this competition. Okay folks, thanks very much for listening. Make sure you go off and do your homework now, do your 6 minutes of activity, and I will see you next week. Thank you.